My name is Catherine, and I'm 33 years old. My husband, the same age as me, is named Keith. About 2 months ago, I gave birth to our beautiful baby girl. We named her Grace. I knew parenting would be tough, but I innocently believed that the two of us could handle anything together. But then,
I'm sorry, Catherine. Please divorce me.
now my husband is pleading with me, shouting, "What is this? What on earth is going on?" "What? What is this? What do you mean?" I shouted, my confusion spilling out as it was the only thing my brain could grasp. Keith slowly lifted his head and began to explain just as I had asked. But what he said made no sense at all.
I have an ex-girlfriend. She's really sick and in the hospital. It's a serious illness, and she's been told she doesn't have much time left. I want to spend her final moments with her. It's her last wish. To do that, I need to divorce you.
What? I don't get it at all. She's your ex, right? She's not even a blood relative. Why are you putting her wishes above your own family? I mean, if you just want to visit her now and then, that's one thing, but asking for a divorce out of nowhere is something I can't accept. What is your ex-girlfriend even thinking? It's not something you ask a married man. As I hesitantly argued back, my husband furrowed his brow sharply.
What's wrong with you? You're so cold. Here I am begging so badly. Are you seriously ignoring her last wish? Are you even human? I never thought you could be so heartless.
Wait, isn't that exactly what I should be saying to you? You're basically telling me you want to abandon me and our child, right? I do feel sorry for your ex, but did you even think about how we feel before suddenly demanding a divorce? Aren't you just getting caught up in the moment here?
But you can't just predict something like illness or a terminal diagnosis. Right now, she needs me. So just hurry up and divorce me.
Keith pressed on, desperate and persistent. This whole thing is suspicious. It seems pretty clear he's been secretly seeing this ex of his. But I can investigate that later. My affection for him ended during this conversation. He's choosing his ex over me and our daughter. He wants to be with her at the end. Fine, have it your way. Fine, if you're that insistent, I'll divorce you. But don't think I won't make you regret it.
Regret? No way. Here's the divorce papers. Because you've been arguing, it's already late. I'll submit this right away, so just sign it.
Sure, whatever. Here, is this good enough? I signed the divorce papers. Just like that, our marriage ended abruptly. He snatched the divorce papers from my hand and left the house gleefully. My husband. No, my ex-husband now. He probably thinks this is the end for us. But of course, I don't plan to let things end this way. Not until I've properly made him pay.
What an idiot.
Now we can be together forever.
By chance, I overheard Keith and his ex-girlfriend having that kind of conversation, which only strengthened my resolve. Just you wait. Some time later, I was standing in front of a certain house with some reliable allies by my side. When I rang the doorbell, "Yes, who is it?" came a carefree voice. When I stayed silent, the door clicked open. "Well, hello there. Long time no see."
What?
I greeted him cheerfully from the front, and Keith froze in place when he opened the door. Wow, you've moved into quite a fancy house. Where'd you get the money for this? Or did you splurge so you could spend your last precious moments with your dear ex-girlfriend?
What? Catherine, why are you here?
You've been ignoring all the documents I've sent for us to discuss things, haven't you? So I thought I'd drop by directly. You got the paperwork I sent to this house, right? In other words, I've known where you two live for quite some time now.
What are you saying?
As the tension at the entrance reached its peak, voices came from behind me and behind Keith.
Catherine, we're just standing in the doorway here. Let's go inside.
Yeah, Keith, we came here to talk to you and your current wife. Let us in.
Keith, honey, what's going on? Weren't you expecting the package I asked for?
Peeking out from behind Keith was, of course, the infamous ex-girlfriend. And the voices behind me belonged to Keith's mother and father, my former in-laws.
What? Mom? Dad? Why are you here?
Oh my, Miss Ex-Girlfriend. You seem pretty lively. Weren't you supposed to be on your last legs? The ex-girlfriend took one look at me and the people I brought with me, and her face changed instantly. She turned around and bolted at an incredible speed. She definitely didn't look like a sick person.
Ashley, this is, well, I don't really understand it either.
It's fine. I'll explain it all now. For now, may we come in? You can refuse, of course. In that case, we'll just visit again another day. I spoke confidently, and Keith gritted his teeth before finally letting us inside. His face was filled with frustration, but I didn't care. I'm just as furious as he is.
So, what do you want? Why do you barge in like this? What if this puts stress on her health?
We were led into the living room. Keith plopped himself on the biggest couch, glaring at us. He might be trying to intimidate us, but it's not working. I just snorted in disdain. Are you still going on with that act, your ex-girlfriend? Or should I call her your current wife? Her name is Ashley, right? She's not sick at all, is she? Far from having a short time left, she's in perfect health, as I understand.
Where did you hear that? And how do you know her name?
Well, I made sure to investigate thoroughly. I know all about that young lady. Then I looked behind Keith. There, I saw a shadow moving.
Oh.
The ex-girlfriend was secretly watching us. Then, the people I brought along, her parents, rushed over and firmly grabbed her by both arms.
Ouch. Hey, what are you doing? Dad, Mom.
What? Dad, Mom.
Keith stared in confusion at both sets of parents, his own and the ex-girlfriend's. Okay, let me introduce everyone. First, you already know your parents, and here are the ex-girlfriend's parents. This woman here is her friend, and the man next to her is your ex-girlfriend's ex-boyfriend. It's all getting a bit complicated, isn't it?
Huh.
Now, let me explain why I came to this house today. Let's go back a few months. It was about 2 weeks after we got divorced. As I explained to Keith in detail, I went into flashback mode in my mind. I was visiting the hospital for my daughter's regular checkup. That's when I spotted Keith inside the hospital. With everything that had happened recently, I was exhausted every day. But the moment I saw Keith's back, I felt a surge of energy. Because my heart hadn't forgotten the idea of getting back at him. Holding my daughter in my arms, I quietly followed Keith. He went into one of the hospital rooms. He didn't bother to close the door all the way. Just like when we were married, his carelessness used to annoy me. But now, I had to be thankful for that carelessness. I heard voices of a man and a woman coming from the hospital room.
She's such an idiot. She believed my story and signed the divorce papers so easily. I never thought she would be so easy to fool.
That's a bit harsh. But yeah, Keith, you're right. Now we can be together forever. I'm so happy.
Right? But seriously, Ashley, you scared me when you said you had to be hospitalized all of a sudden. Are you really okay now?
Yeah, I'm fine. It was just appendicitis after all. I'll be discharged soon. Hey, when I'm out, we need to find a place to live together.
Oh, right. We need to choose a place where we can enjoy our last moments together.
Oh my, last moments. That's just code for being together forever. Oh, by the way, what about your current house? Your wife moved out, right? Eyesight from afar, it was pretty big. I wouldn't mind living there.
That house. Actually, it's not my house. It belongs to my ex-wife. Her parents gave it to us as a wedding gift. So, I was the one who got kicked out.
Seriously, what a letdown. Wait, so her family's loaded enough to just give away a house?
Well, yeah, maybe. Her parents were especially pretty strict. I was never fond of them.
Well, whatever. Let's just buy a new house. I'll even pitch in with the money I've saved up.
Are these two out of their minds? If I wasn't holding my daughter, I might have barged in there and confronted them. How much do they have to mock me before they're satisfied? I wasn't fooled by them at all. It was just so absurd and tiring to deal with them that I accepted the divorce. Anyway, this confirmed that the whole story about the ex-girlfriend's limited time left was a complete lie. Now, I just needed to gather more evidence of their affair. I tightened my lips and left the hospital. Keith's belongings were still at the house. The plan was to send them to his new place once he found one, but I hadn't heard anything. Maybe he forgot or just didn't care. I went through all of Keith's belongings one by one, and I found multiple things that appeared to be evidence of his affair. Photos and receipts related to his affair partner. I even hired a private investigator. As I continued my own investigation, I discovered several people who had been deceived by his ex-girlfriend in the past. I contacted those people, and after confirming that they still harbored resentment toward her, they agreed to help me. And that brings us to today, where we've barged into Keith and his ex-girlfriend's new home. Well, you've built quite a fancy house. Did you really have that much in savings? You quit your job, didn't you? So, how's the mortgage going?
What? That's...
What? Keith, you quit your job. What are you talking about?
Ashley asked in a puzzled voice. Oh, didn't you know? He's definitely no longer employed. I confirmed it directly with his company, so there's no mistake. He tried to gain sympathy by tearfully claiming he divorced to spend his last moments with his terminally ill ex-girlfriend, but instead it freaked out the decent employees. and rumors spread that he'd been having an affair with that ex-girlfriend all along. Feeling out of place, he resigned, right? He's really such an idiot.
What? Idiot?
Of course, you're an idiot. You thought you could fool me and assumed you could deceive everyone else the same way. And in the end, you put yourself in a tight spot. Well, serves you right. Plus, the people at the company know I gave birth and that you became a father. To an outsider, it looks like you abandoned your wife and newborn child. You're the worst kind of person, you know that. I'm so glad the people at your company were decent.
Wait, Keith, this is the first I've heard about you quitting your job. So, what were you doing when you left for work every morning? And what about the mortgage on this house?
That is, I've been doing part-time work and killing time. But it's not like I don't intend to work. The rumors only spread within the company. I'll find a new job soon. No problem. I'm sure I'll be in high demand.
Keith pounded his chest confidently with no basis at all. Ashley stared at him with half-closed eyes. Oh, good to know you still have the motivation to work. Otherwise, you'd fall behind on your payments to me.
What? Payments?
Yes, payments. I told you, didn't I? You've been ignoring all the documents I've sent. Here, let me give you this again. It's the paperwork for the alimony and child support. I placed a thick envelope on the table. That's my story. I'll be claiming alimony from both you and your ex-girlfriend there, and child support from you. It's my right, so make sure you comply.
No way. Alimony and child support. How am I supposed to pay that? You just exposed that I'm unemployed. I don't have that kind of money.
Keith shouted, and my former in-laws, who had been standing behind me, yelled down at him.
Enough of your nonsense. How much more trouble do you plan to cause Catherine, you idiot son? We found out about the divorce from Catherine. How do you plan to explain to us that you were remarrying your affair partner? Answer me.
I can't believe you'd do something so stupid. I failed in raising you. Agree to the alimony and child support payments immediately. If you don't have the money, then work yourself to the bone and sell this grand house right away, for goodness sake.
Dad, Mom, aren't you on my side? I'm your son.
You don't have a single lie here. Stop fooling yourself, you fool. Because of you, we almost lost our precious first grandchild forever. Why would we side with you?
He's right. I can't bear the thought of never seeing Grace again. I'll disown you. But Catherine and Grace are still our family. Don't think you'll get away with abandoning family for free.
My former in-laws shouted sharply. And I am so glad to have these people on my side. I could see Keith trembling at the word disown.
No way. Alimony and child support. That's impossible. Where would I get that kind of money? Ashley, you don't have any money either, right?
Of course not. Why do I have to pay alimony too? I'm supposedly on my last legs here. I don't have money to waste on alimony.
Well, you see, we know that your whole terminal illness story is a complete lie. No need to keep lying. And you still have money, don't you? The money you conned out of people.
Well, what?
Then, the ex-girlfriend's parents, who were standing on either side of her, spoke up softly.
Are you really still in poor health? Being sickly was something you dealt with as a child, right? I thought you grew stronger as you got older.
Yes, you were frequently ill back then. You spent a lot of time in the hospital. Did you perhaps get the wrong idea and think you were still weak?
Dad, Mom,
I've never heard this story about you being terminally ill. Is it really that serious? In that case, you shouldn't be living so carefree here.
He is right. We need to get you admitted to the hospital immediately. We'll have them check you thoroughly from head to toe, especially if you really only have a short time left.
What? Wait, stop it. There's no need for a hospital stay. I'm fine.
You're terminally ill, aren't you? There's no way you're fine. Think about how your parents feel for once.
Exactly. We'll have you tested, and if nothing's wrong, then great. It means you're healthy.
As her parents badgered her from both sides, the ex-girlfriend finally gave in and shouted at the top of her lungs,
Fine, I get it. It's all a lie. I'm not terminally ill. I'm perfectly healthy. I lied to break up Keith and that woman. Keith knew it too. So, he's just as guilty.
Ashley, how could you? You were the one who said we could break up easily if you claimed to be terminally ill. Although it didn't exactly go smoothly.
Shut up. It doesn't matter to me anymore.
She huffed and crossed her arms. If that were enough to resolve this, we wouldn't have gathered here today with so many people. Stepping forward were Ashley's friend Julie and her ex-boyfriend Tom.
You're still pulling this same stunt, huh? I'm truly amazed. You haven't changed a bit since college when you staged a fall down the stairs to gain sympathy.
Julie sighed in exasperation.
You really haven't changed at all. It's surprising, and it makes me angry at my past self for being fooled by you.
Tom glared at the ex-girlfriend.
What? What do you want? Barging in here like this?
I'll get straight to the point. I want my money back.
Me too. I want the money I gave you returned.
The two of them advanced toward the ex-girlfriend. Hearing their demand for money, she clearly panicked.
What are you talking about? Money? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, don't play dumb. Back in college, you claimed you had a severe illness with only a short time to live unless you underwent surgery. You convinced your friends to chip in by saying the surgery would cost a fortune, and then you pocketed all the money. You were quite the actress. You had me fooled back then.
What? You don't have any proof. I used the money everyone contributed to pay for the surgery. That's how I got better. I don't have any money left to return.
Is that true?
Julie glanced at the ex-girlfriend's parents. They quietly shook their heads.
No, we have no memory of her having any major surgery during her college years. In fact, she dropped out of college without telling us and became a part-time worker.
Right. She claimed she was taking a leave of absence for surgery, but then dropped out without a trace. We had no idea where the money went either.
Julie glared at the ex-girlfriend.
To think you've been doing the same thing all this time.
Tom spoke up.
Tom. Well,
She and I were planning to get married.
What?
Keith gasped in shock at Tom's revelation.
At the time, the company I worked for went bankrupt, and I was temporarily unemployed. It was around that time that Ashley's illness came to light. She said she only had a short time to live if she didn't get treatment.
Oh, the same trick. She probably decided to ditch you when you became jobless, planning to swindle you out of your money before breaking up.
Yes, listening to everyone's stories, I realized that must have been the case. But back then, I took it seriously and scrambled together funds for her surgery. Then, the day after I handed over the money, She disappeared. She left a letter saying she didn't want to drag me into her life because of her illness. But
Of course, that was a lie. Everyone present knew it in their hearts. Under their intense gazes, Ashley looked down uncomfortably.
I want the surgery money I gave you back. Even if you don't have it now, you can repay it little by little from now on.
What? How dare you? You jobless loser. You probably just came back to mooch off your ex because you're broke, didn't you? Don't get ahead of yourself.
No, Tom is now the president of a company. I interrupted from the side. Hearing the word president, Ashley was dumbfounded.
What? President?
Yes, after becoming unemployed and having you run off with his money, he was motivated to turn things around. Now his company is one of the rising stars in the industry.
No way. That can't be. Then, you don't need the money back. You're not struggling financially, are you?
I'm not struggling financially, but this isn't about the money itself. You should understand that as an adult, this is about closure.
Exactly. I don't need the money either. My husband earns enough. But I need you to return the money you swindled from me back then. Otherwise, I can't accept it.
Holding a grudge over money doesn't just last a lifetime, it lingers even beyond death. With Julie and Tom closing in on her, Ashley was on the verge of tears.
Come on, promise right here that you'll pay us back. If you prefer, your husband can pay it on your behalf. After all, you're married, you're in it together.
No way. The money back then must be millions of dollars. Keith, please help me. We're in this together, right?
Shut up. I don't know you anymore. Terminally ill. I was deceived too.
What? Keith tried to cling to me. Feeling disgusted, I quickly stepped aside. He looked at me with a pitiful expression.
I'm sorry, Catherine. Please forgive me. I apologize. See, I'll apologize to Grace too. So let's get back together. Please, it's better this way.
What the hell are you talking about? What nonsense was he spouting now?
After splitting up with you, I realized how much you mean to me. You're the only one for me, Catherine. I'll leave Ashley right now. So let's start over.
You? What are you talking about now? You idiot, truly a foolish son. There's no way you two could ever reconcile, not in a million years.
Exactly. Stop saying things to suit yourself. Do you understand your position right now? There's no way anyone would believe a cheating husband's words.
Mom, Dad, stay out of this. This is a matter between me and my wife.
Keith yelled pompously. A matter between husband and wife. You say, huh? Who do you think is husband and wife here? You were the one who abandoned that relationship first. I felt something snap inside me. Not happening. There's no way we're starting over. I shouted at the top of my lungs, and Keith flinched, freezing in place. Stop saying whatever suits you. You dumped me and Grace for that dumb affair partner. I wouldn't take back a fool like you even if you begged. You just don't want to pay alimony and child support, right?
No, I really.
Stop whining and agree to the payments already. If you refuse, should we take this to court?
Court.
At the mention of a last resort, Keith instantly became scared and fell silent. He finally agreed to pay the alimony and child support. Meanwhile, his ex-girlfriend also agreed to repay Julie and Tom. A few years later, I received a call from Keith, with whom I'd had no contact except for the alimony and child support payments.
I'm sick. I can't afford the surgery, and they say I have less than a year to live if I don't do anything. Now that I'm in this situation, I regret it from the bottom of my heart. I regret going along with my ex's proposal back then. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Please, forgive me. I want to spend my last moments with you and Grace.
If I remember correctly, Keith eventually got a new job at a smaller company than where he used to work. Naturally, his salary had decreased, but the alimony and child support payments were relentless, and there were also the mortgage payments for the house he built. Well, none of that matters to me anymore. Oh, is that so? Sorry, but I've already remarried, so spending time with you is not an option. And do you really think I believe a word you're saying? Goodbye.
Wait, no, please.
Ignoring Keith, who still had more to say, I hung up the phone. Then, I went to join my new husband and daughter who were waiting for me. I later heard through the grapevine that Keith's illness was real. I don't know how he managed to gather the money, but he had the surgery and recovered. However, he couldn't work as he used to and now lives a lonely life by himself. I have no intention of ever getting involved with him again. As for his ex-girlfriend, she broke up with Keith. She tried to use the same terminal illness scam to swindle money from others and ended up being sued for fraud. No one will help her anymore. I live my life with my new husband and beloved daughter. I'm also pregnant with another child from my new husband. Every day is truly happy. In my final moments, I want to be with this family.